All right, welcome out to today's episode of Unwritten Real Estate. We have our special guest, Heather Swanger.
Hi.
So nice to have you here.
So nice to be here.
You look great. I love the green.
Thank
That's
you.
Very festive.
Ditto.
Yeah, I went with green too.
You went with green too, but those are your colors. Those are your logo colors.
Yeah, like with our brokerage, we do a lot of green.
Yeah.
So
nice. Happy St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, you too. Okay, so this is gonna be fun.
Okay.
We're gonna do a little game of Jenga, and we're gonna talk about a bunch of real estate stuff and other things about like life, and so it'll be good.
Okay.
Do you want to start us off? Actually, here's what we got. This is what we're playing for today. We've got winner gets either $50 to Red Lobster or $25 to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay, so we go for the 50 or 25.
It's whatever one you want. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
But I'll let you start off. You can go ahead and start this game off if you want to make the first move.
All right.
No
I
pressure.
like to make the first move, so
All
let's
right.
give it a shot.
Oh, you're doing great there. Okay. All right. The game begins. This is going to be, how do you feel? How confident do you feel about this? Do you feel pretty good?
Yeah, I'm
Jenga
pretty
skills?
confident in the things I go into.
That's good.
We'll hope.
That's good. That's I'm really confident. I hope. Yeah, that's good. That's the definition of confidence right there.
It is.
All right. So Heather, you've been in the real estate industry for a long time. So how did that all begin for you, and what's kind of been your journey in real estate?
Well, I've been in for 16 years.
Okay.
And my husband was in 2006 doing
interesting. Okay.
awesome small lot subdivisions. He had his agent find him like an old farm home in Harriman or Ogden, somewhere where there's land that had a lot of acreage, and he'd flip the home and subdivide the land and sell off the pieces.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Fabulous. And I'm like, why are you paying an agent to do that? I can be your agent.
Cool.
So I went to real estate school, got my license, and was his agent. And then the market
Changed a little.
changed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's how I got into it, and it's changed my life. I love it.
So you were an agent for a while, and then, but that role has changed a little bit for you.
Yeah.
I mean, so because you now run a real estate school.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. You own a real estate school and run.
Yeah, I own Utah Real Estate School. I'm still a licensed agent. I'm a realtor and completely involved, but I don't do a lot of transactions.
Yeah.
I run the school and write the
train a
curriculum.
lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, because you're teaching them how to get into real estate.
That's right.
And you're helping them get prepared for their. How did that all begin for you getting into the real estate school side of it?
A good friend of mine, Tammy Lund, owned the school that I went to.
Okay.
And as things changed in my life, I was looking for something different. No longer stay-at-home mom with my realtor's license, and she was looking to retire. And we were on the beach in Hawaii one day. And
You and Tammy were? Okay.
Yeah, we're good friends. And she was telling me, I don't think any of my family want to run my business. We're just talking. And I said, well, what about me? And that's how it started.
That's how it all started. A beach in Hawaii.
A beach in Hawaii.
And then you worked out the terms, got it all worked out.
Yeah.
And you run the Utah Real Estate School.
That's right.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
So what are some of the things that because you've seen a lot of real estate people coming through your classes over the years.
Yeah.
People of all different makes and sizes and all different backgrounds.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, what are some of the things that you've learned as you've seen people coming through that? What are some of your biggest takeaways seeing people coming through that process?
That you can't stereotype who wants to be a real estate agent.
Okay.
We have people that are seniors in high school to people that are retired in above their 70s. And their challenge is, the internet and et cetera, because everything's online. But you can't stereotype what an agent is, looks like, their background, nothing.
Yeah. I mean, that's a true statement.
It is.
I mean, I've gone through many, many interviews over the years, and there are many times where I think, and I say, okay, this person, they've got it.
Yeah.
For sure, they've got it.
Yeah.
And I've been wrong so many times.
Right.
And then I see somebody else, like, there's no way. Like that, like, you've got to be kidding me. And then that person, they do something that just, yeah. So what would you say are the qualities of the people that do end up making it? Like, is there something that stands out, or are there certain attributes that you would say that kind of stand out to those people?
Yeah, for sure. Perseverance, number one. They don't They don't quit. They don't take no. No is just a word. It's not scary. And then somebody who's dives into their fear, because it's scary. It's scary to do all the realtor things, especially when you're just starting. You've got to call friends and family. You have to let everyone know what you're doing. And it's so different from a traditional 9-to-5 job. I've knocked doors, several doors. That's how I found our small lot subdivisions.
Oh, wow.
We just I love this farmland. This could be divided, and we would just knock. That the homes aren't for sale. And so you have to get past that fear. And I think those that can do that are the most successful.
Interesting. Just pushing past that fear is a key thing.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. So let's look back at your life, because you've had many different like turns and twists and different obstacles and challenges. And so what are some of the things that have been most instrumental in your life, or maybe some of the obstacles that you've come across that you've had to push through to get to the other side?
Well, when I got into real estate, it was because I wanted that commission check. Okay. I didn't want my husband paying an agent, but I wanted that commission check because my husband and I were going through infertility issues.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if you know how expensive IVF is and other things, but it's so costly. So that was a huge bonus for us to get those commission checks in, and especially at that time, because they were coming quickly. Everyone was building, real estate was wonderful in 2006. So huge, just a wonderful experience being able to pay for that. Well, it never really worked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you made all this money to be able to do it, and it just didn't come together like you had thought.
It didn't come together. No, several pregnancies, but just nothing stayed. So you really have to push through again and learn who you are and what you want to do. And my husband wanted to adopt, and I married my family. My husband's kids were 6 and 12 when we got married, 7 and 12. And I told him, I just want to not share my children. I love my kids, but I have to share them with the other side of the family, which is great. We have a wonderful relationship, but I still share them.
Yeah.
I don't want to share. And so I wasn't up for adoption, wasn't an issue until I met my son's birth mother.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it was a family friend.
Oh, wow.
And I share. And it's fabulous. It's the best gift in the whole entire world. And had we not gone through that whole process, I wouldn't have my son, who I share, and my 2 older kids, who I share. And it takes a village, and it's wonderful. And it's not any different than had IVF worked.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, so it's just taught me perseverance, and when you change your mindset, your whole world can change.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because that whole concept of I want to hold on to this, I want to share, but then really you've you totally turned that all the way around.
I did.
And it's now it's complete open heart where you're sharing a lot.
And my family is complete now because of that sharing.
So you adopted it as a newborn, this new little baby, and have raised this. And how old's your little one now?
Yeah, he's 12.
12. Wow. That's pretty exciting.
No, he just turned 13.
So a teenager now. There you go.
On the 25th of February. He's 13 years old.
Super cool. That's a hard journey to kind of explain to other people, because it's so emotional going through that. So my wife and I went through that same thing for many years. We were married, and when you grow up in our environment here, you're just supposed to have kids. It's just that's just what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, it's easy peasy.
Yeah, easy. And then if you don't have kids for a little while, then people start to question. They start to think, "What's wrong with you?" And it was like, so I think one of the hardest times my wife ever had to speak was she had to speak once on a church meeting on a Sunday for Mother's Day, when she was like, we were going through like all this, like not being kids.
No.
It was like that.
Oh, I would have said no.
She was such a brave. She would
Good
like,
for her.
she hates speaking. Like, I'm totally fine speaking in public, but that's like the worst thing. And then like after a while, you just kind of get sick of people asking. And so the line that we started to use was, people would ask us like, do you guys have kids yet? Or, and they mean well, like they're just asking.
Absolutely.
And we would just say like, oh, we're saving up for a boat. That was the line that we'd always give them. We're just saving up for a boat.
Yep.
And they would never know how to respond to that, because they would like, oh, and you could see that they were thinking, these people are the most selfish people in the world, because all they care about is a boat. But we ended up adopting. So we went through the adoption process twice.
Did.
Amazing experiences. We had one adoption fall through, that was crazy. That was a heartbreaking experience. But the two that have gone through have been amazing. Like those two kids, like those are two oldest, and oh yeah, just a really cool experience.
Oh, I love it. I didn't know we had that in common.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Are they open adoptions?
Yeah, super open. It was so our first was like we had put our papers in, and we ended up meeting the couple, and they ended up later on that they were just the young kids in high school, and they ended up getting married, and they actually have kids themselves now.
Oh, wow.
But we have a very open relationship with them. And then our second was another cool experience, how that all came together. Our second was actually, we were on a trip. It was a real estate trip. We were going down to on a cruise, and we were in California with our oldest. So Avery, who was just a little one, she was maybe a year and a half, 2 years, and we had put our papers in, and we'd passed our papers out to a couple of people that had said that they might have some connections for us. And we were in California. We went to Disneyland, which is crazy with like a 2-year-old. Like, they don't even care. It's like, ugh, whatever. Doesn't matter. We're not sponsored by Disney anyway, so they don't care if we. But it was just a hard experience with taking a little one through there. But we were there. We were going to board the boat the next day. Yeah. We got a phone call that this girl had read our profile, that she wanted to pick us as the couple, and she was in the hospital having birth that night, and could we come home to be there? And so, wow, crazy. So we scrambled, bought plane tickets. We flew home, like my wife and I and our little one, we flew home. My parents had driven down to California with us. So my parents just won the cruise without us, with my real estate company. Right. And my parents are just like,
that's great.
There. And everybody in our neighborhood thought we were just out of town for a week. We were on this cruise, but we were actually home, and we got home in time to be at the hospital with and our little boy Jordan. He was in the NICU for a while. So we just got to spend the whole week. Everybody just thought we were on vacation, and we were actually in the hospital the whole time. Just
you're a few blocks away.
Just a few blocks away, just like there, just like spending time with them. And it was such a cool experience. Yeah. But
I was able to be in the hospital.
So cool.
As well. And I went through the whole pregnancy process with my son's birth mom, went to her doctor appointments and saw.
Wow.
We dated. We got to know each other, and now we're family.
There's some real power to that, right? I mean, like, we look at one of the hardest experience, I kind of referenced it a little bit earlier, was the time we had went through the pregnancy process with another birth mom who had kind of selected us and wanted us to go through this process. And we went to the hospital when the little one was born, and everything was like looking good. We went to the agency to go 2 days later when she's going to be released from the hospital. She's going to come to the agency, and we waited there for like 2 or 3 hours, and she never showed up. Oh. And we called the hospital, and they wouldn't give us any information because of all the crazy HIPAA guidelines. So I had to call some friends who had some friends who, like, I could find people who worked there to get like behind the scenes. And they said, actually, she checked out the day before. And we found out that she just never, she just like took it was her right to have the baby.
That's right.
But man, that was a heartbreaking experience, because it felt like we've never had like a miscarriage like that, but it felt like that. Like,
I can imagine it would.
Like, it was like the death of a kid that
That's right.
We were holding like little one, and we were like there. And crazy.
Yeah.
So
they're yours as soon as you decide.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
And if you look at our kids now, like you can't even tell like who's adopted and who's not adopted.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I feel a little bit bad for our two youngest because my wife ended up having kids. Like we ended up having kids somehow. Who knows how that all played out?
Yeah.
But we've done DNA tests, like they're mine, so who knows? Like it's still like it's all legit. But like what's crazy is like sometimes I feel bad for our two youngest because they don't have the extra family.
Yeah.
Whereas our two others, they have like when we get together for Christmas, other holidays, like they have all extended family. So really, we just tell all of our kids that they're just cousins. Like so all the adopted family are just cousins and all these other, which is kind of a cool experience.
Yeah,
so
it is. I love that.
Yeah, cool.
Do you know? I'll tell you one more interesting fact. The mother that changed her mind and checked out of the hospital a day early, that was my mother.
Really?
And she kept me, and I lived in the avenues of Salt Lake City.
Wow.
Well, she had a roommate, and I was in the closet in my little bassinet, and she went to nursing school and walked and decided she was going to do it on her own, and she changed her mind.
Really?
And yeah, that little baby was me.
That was you.
And yeah, and we have a fabulous relationship. She's my director of student services, my mom.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really
Interesting.
I mean, it's just interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think in the end, like people just have to do what they feel is in their best interest, and it's like the whole adoption process is so, man, it's an emotional journey.
I know.
Like on all different sides of that.
Well, and there's no roadmap.
No.
There's no roadmap to anything. You know, I tell my kids that all the time. If we had the magic 8-ball to tell us what was next, then we'd all be great. But we don't. And so, again, I'm going back to this fear. Have you read the book Unbounded by Mary Crafts?
No. Oh, I know Mary.
She's
awesome.
Local celebrity.
Yeah. She's
Absolutely.
Like, I've not read her book.
So it's fabulous. You need to. I should have brought you one. But her book is really based on getting past your fear. That's the theme. And I've told my kids that you just need to get past your barriers, past your fears. And it's the same with any career.
Yeah.
But especially real estate, because it's so untraditional and it can be scary.
Yeah. I mean, real estate is for a lot because you are shifting gears.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people get into real estate and they think, for some people, they think it's going to be easy.
Yeah.
Or they watch a couple shows on TV and like, how hard can it be?
Right.
Because I think you got that piece. That's good. I'm thinking about it. Mm-hmm. That's good. But like the thing about real estate and there's a thing that I love and the thing that's hard about it is it's based on getting uncomfortable.
Yes.
I mean, if you want your business to grow, then it comes back to just, are you willing to be outside your comfort zone?
Right.
And to what extent are you willing to step out of your comfort zone?
Exactly.
I think one of the cool lessons I learned from a mentor of mine, there's a gentleman named Joe Stumpf, who's been a huge influence in my life. And he would always talk about how like our business will grow in direct proportion to our personal growth.
Yeah.
And I think there's some real power to that. And I've noticed that as I embrace the uncomfortable and step into that unknown, that my business grows in direct proportion to that. And it's like there's some real power to that, but it is, and it's kind of scary when you step into the dark.
It is. And isn't it interesting that you're not talking about the more CE classes I go to or the more real estate seminars? You're talking about personal growth and stepping into the unknown personally and developing yourself physically, spiritually, mentally. That has nothing to do with real estate, but your real estate business grows because of those things.
Totally.
It's so important.
Yeah. I think sometimes in our industry, the whole, I mean, like you have to have the CE classes and there's some good educational stuff.
Absolutely.
I think some people get off the wrong track in the sense that the more letters they have after their name, then somehow they're a better agent.
Yeah.
That if they have this alphabet soup of characters of acronyms that no one can even pronounce or knows what
know what they are.
Nobody knows what those things are. It's just a random bunch of hodgepodge. Like I thought about putting on my card, like all of my different interests, like NBA because I like to watch basketball games, so I'll put that on there. Maybe I'll put like NFL because I watch some games every once. Like just whatever random acronyms I want to put. But it is interesting in like our industry. It's just a bunch of letters thrown around. And
Yeah. Yeah. Acronyms galore. Aaron Dressel, superstar.
I don't know about superstar. I don't know about that. I mean, I can write whatever I want on my card.
That's right.
Nothing to do.
That's right.
Just like, this guy's an idiot and just toss the card to the side. That could happen too. But,
No, you're not.
oh, look at that piece. There we go.
Oh, darn. Okay.
There we go. I'm feeling good about that. Okay, so now something that people might not know is you guys are entrepreneurs besides just a real estate school.
Yeah.
I mean, your husband has a little project that he's been working on for a while, and maybe share a little bit about like your kind of cool entrepreneurial ventures with your product that you have.
So the beautiful thing about my husband and I is we have the same mindset for entrepreneurship, which is good because not everyone can understand that mindset because it's risky, it's scary, and you're a little bit crazy, while doing it because paychecks just don't show up. You have to work for them and take a risk. So my husband has an engineering firm. He's an electrical engineer, a professional
Super smart guy, though.
Super smart guy.
Yeah.
Which means he's a problem solver.
Cool.
Which means our conversations aren't, oh, honey, I'm sorry that you had that day. How do you feel? It's, well, this is how you fix it.
Perfect. Which is what a spouse wants to hear. Because if there's one thing my wife is looking for, is for me to come in and fix.
That's right.
problem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure if I were to ever read her journal, I'm sure that's what she's like. I just hope.
I hope Aaron comes home and solves all my problems.
All my issues. Even the issues that I didn't even want to talk about.
That's right.
He comes in. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what she's saying. Yeah. No, she's not saying that at all.
Yeah, that's probably good to know. It's good points to keep.
So he's a problem solver. Well, one of the issues in Utah is snow, especially this season.
This year has been crazy.
It's been wonderful.
So much snow. Yeah.
It's been wonderful. And if you drive over the snow, you now have hard packed tire marks and that turn to ice and you can never get up.
Yeah.
That was my husband's nemesis. He thought, I'm going to fix this. And he designed a snow shovel called Teeth Down Shark Snow Shovel. Say that a million times.
Shark Snow Shovel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and it has teeth and it swivels. So you have a traditional shovel on one side and teeth on the other that gets up that hard packed snow and ice. Cool. And he's been, it's worldwide. It's in Germany. It's in Canada. He's had commercials in Canada for the a national.
He's been on
QVC a couple of times. Yeah,
I'm seeing a post about that.
Yeah, cool. And I got to go the one time, and you can't take like video behind, and I got in trouble because I had my phone out. But it was really neat to think of all the people that have been stage, back right? there. Yeah, that have stepped on that stage. And he was with a soap opera star the other day.
Oh, wait. How often has he been doing that? Has he done it a couple of times?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Wow.
So, yeah, interesting. So he's a problem solver. So he has his engineering firm, and then
he's got this
shovel
on the side
business. And and then I have my school, and I've said to my youngest son, maybe you'll be interested in running Daddy or my business. No, he wants to be a graphic designer. Oh,
he does? Mm-hmm. He's interested in that?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
That's cool.
Well, that's fine. You could do graphic design for us.
Is he pretty creative? Is that what
He's very creative. Very creative. So he's a kid who is huge. He has Islander blood in him.
Okay.
And we're not 100% sure, like Polynesian islands, Micronesian, we're not 100% sure on that end. But definitely Islander blood. He has size 13 feet and he's
Get out of here.
13 years old.
What?
Yeah. And he's almost my height and he's in the 7th grade. So he's a big kid.
Yeah.
So we were like, we got ourselves a football player.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Does he like football?
Hates it.
That's this big kid physically to do all this stuff.
Yeah. He's a gentle giant. So he doesn't want anything to do with football. And we made him for 2 years. And then he's like, I just really don't like it.
Yeah.
So he does basketball and soccer. But mostly he likes to design on his tablet and draw. He does art classes and way creative.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought growing up, I mean, I was all into sports. Like that was my thing. Like I love sports, especially basketball. And I thought for sure I'd have like all these kids that would like follow suit, but it has not played out that well. Like my daughter's like has no interest. She's super creative. She likes to do like artistry and all this painting. And my oldest boy, he's a quarter African American, and his birth father was an amazing soccer player. And thought maybe this is it. Like,
that's right.
And he can't stand that stuff. Like sports are not it's at all. But he's like he loves to draw. And then I've got our third. Like he like loves to mix it up. Like he likes the physicality of sports, like banging into people and pushing around. And so football is like his thing. He loves that. And then our youngest can't stand like any. So I thought for sure I had like my bow had like 1 out of 4 likes sports. And so
is your wife creative?
She is super creative. So she doesn't like sports. Like that's not her thing.
Yeah.
And so
they went the mom way.
They're definitely going the mom route. My wife was like into karate and did that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but I'd always hoped I'd have a kid that would their jersey number be 401k and they could just be my ticket out of here.
That's right.
It's not played out like
it hasn't played out.
Oh no. It's not out like I thought. So
well, my oldest is a nurse, and she is fabulously creative too with art and whatnot. But she had huge. I mean, she's an athlete through and through. High school sports, and my middle son he's creative in his hands, his artistry. He builds like rock walls for swimming pools and does all of that work, cool. But no sports. So it's our oldest girl that was the sports fanatic, and my husband was like, well, that's wonderful, but my boys didn't take after me at all. Way, because he's a sports fan too.
Yeah, I thought I'd have like more, but well, they just do what they want to do, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Okay, our battle of Jenga. What do you think? Who's gonna win this thing?
Okay, well,
is it your turn?
It is my turn. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
We'll pull a couple pieces out and see how this goes right now.
Okay, let's poke at him.
Yeah, there's not a lot of loose pieces.
No.
Look like, huh?
I think it was your turn.
Is it? You're giving it back to me?
I'm changing. Oh, here we go.
Now it's back to your turn because you found a piece.
Yeah, because I found a piece. No, it was mine. I was just confused for just a second.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Oh, look at that piece. That was easy.
Oh, good job, Aaron.
There you go. I had a little bit of practice. I haven't done a ton of practice with this, but I've had a couple games over the last couple months now that we started this little podcast. And
well, I said maybe I should have practiced Jenga before I came, but it looks like I didn't need any practice. I know.
You got this figured out.
See, the problem in real estate is once you start getting cocky,
then
it all falls apart. And so better be careful with
I think you're going to see that in our current market, right? You've got a lot of people who won a lot of trophies and some awards over the last couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now all of a sudden the market's changed a little bit. And so.
Yeah. And you have to change with it.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to be patient, and you better be smart with your commission checks. That's all I have to say, because you never know when the next one is coming, truly. So just don't spend it all.
Yeah. Well, so you've got all these students that you've had go through the real estate school.
Yeah.
And you probably get some that they go through the process and they're like, I just don't know if I can finish this. And they kind of tap out. And then you have the other ones who they try to get through that and they go through the studying of it. What advice would you give for somebody who is preparing for the real estate exam? So they're getting close. They've been studying for a while.
Yeah.
Any tips or advice you give to people?
For sure. Know the terminology, the glossary that any school gives them, my school, whatever school they're going to. If they know their glossary and understand not just the definition, but how to apply that definition.
Okay.
Can you reach it?
I don't know. This is a risky piece.
Then I think they'll pass.
So the glossary is a key thing.
So important to know those key terms that we teach them.
Yeah, because you have all these different terminology pieces, and then if they have the understanding of what those words really mean and what the definition,
how to apply them.
Yeah, how to be able to put that in place. So.
Yeah, because you don't walk around in real estate and tell your clients about fair housing laws. You don't. Mm-hmm. But to protect your clients and to do the right and ethical thing, you as an agent need to know those laws. You might not need to know the dates of the particular laws and when they came into play, but you've got to know how to do it.
So what are some of the craziest experiences you've heard of over the years in real estate? Any crazy client stories or some pretty wild interaction with other agents that you've ever had to deal with?
I wouldn't say no. I don't have too many crazy stories, but I have to tell you, I have fabulous stories just because I'll get feedback from my previous students that I've changed their lives, or that
that's cool.
This, that, or the other has happened because they chose real estate. And of course they say because of your school, which I love, but it's because they chose real estate. And how rewarding is that, right? I
think the cool thing for me about real estate is it's a pretty powerful vehicle to change people's lives.
Yes.
And the fact that you can create this ability to run a business that has no income limits.
Right.
It's just whatever income limits are just your own mental blocks.
Right.
And then being able to create something where it can fund the ideal lifestyle, whatever that lifestyle is.
Whatever you choose. But again, it's completely different because you have to pay your own taxes. You have to have your own schedule. You must be detail oriented and be smart about time management.
Oh, and that's a nice move right there.
Etc.
Well, the time management piece is such a game changer for people because you have people that now they're their own boss.
Yeah.
And for some people, I don't know if I'd want to hire that person, right? Because but now they're their own employee. Now they have to keep charge of themselves.
That's right.
And it's going to be interesting to see how they play out as their own.
Well, that can be very hard,
For sure.
Not having that. You have your guidance, obviously, in your brokerage, and you have your trainings, etc. But they're not going to be fired for not showing up to training, but they have missed out completely. No,
holy cow. That was a close one.
So I think that is one of the toughest parts. Do you have any crazy
so many
stories?
So many.
I've heard some at our test prep. You always, when you have hosted some of our test preps, you have some.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I guess like attracts like. I don't know what that is. I have
crazy.
I've had some crazy stories over the years. There's all different bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Around that.
But don't you think that it's awesome that? I did it.
That was close. Well, you get to pick. Red Lobster, Buffalo Wild Wings. Which one do you want?
Red Lobster.
All right, you got it. Red Lobster.
Thank you, Aaron.
Nice work.
Yeah.
Well, this was a super fun conversation. I think the cool part was the whole track that we went down to talking about adoption was kind of an interesting. I didn't know any of that backstory from you.
I didn't know yours either.
That's really cool. And there's a common bond that you create when you talk to other people who've been down that road.
You do.
And so some real power to that. So, well, awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time spending time with us today. This is great.
Thanks.
At Utah Real Estate School, TSG. So if you're looking for getting into real estate, this is your chance you can go online, and you guys are everywhere online.
We're everywhere online. UtahRealEstateSchool.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you can pass a background check. That's another.
That is.
Gotta be able to pass a background check at some point.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's awesome. Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah, thank you.